Hello everyone and welcome back to SaiyanSquabbles. I am Papa Ping Pong, here to bring you another Dragon Ball Super card game deck profile. So today I'm going to be showing you the deck I ran this weekend at my locals. And it is a more exciting special deck that I've been having a lot of fun with. So let's just get right into it. The leader is Black Masked Saiyan. So it's auto, burst 3, when this card attacks, draw 1 card, so you mill 3 and then draw 1, which is great for what this deck is trying to do. And then when you're at 4 or less, you switch your energy to active mode and flip this card over. And on his backside, he has active main, once per turn, burst 3. You choose 1 black battle card in your drop area with energy cost of 3 or more and add it to your hand, and he gets plus 5k for the duration of the turn. So he has no inherent draw power, so there's no swing draw. But he does have the burst 3, which recovers something from the drop area, so it's kind of like a draw, but not exactly. So this deck's biggest issue, though, is probably draw power, but we are going to get into ways to get around that. And how we have this deck set up, you can basically never deck out. So we'll get into it. So first up, we're going to go over the boring stuff. 4 super combos, just Master Roshi. When you're at 4 or less life, you get plus 10k and draw 1 card. So, next up, we have the best part of the deck, arguably the best part. We have 4 Turles, the Unstoppable Ghost Warrior. So he's got dual attack, active main, choose 2 black battle cards in your drop area with energy cost between 3 and 7. Place them at the bottom of your deck and place this card from your hand. So you're recycling 2. Hopefully you bursted 3 targets off of him. If not, when you combo, probably play something between 2 and 7, or 3 and 7 in your drop area from a combo. Then you play this guy, and that's 2 more attacks. It's basically 3 attacks, and you still have an energy live. But active battle, once per turn, choose 1 card in your hand, place it in your drop area. He gets plus 5k for the duration of the turn. So it basically becomes a 15k swing for 2 attacks. Helpful for your opponent's Awakened. But again, we do struggle with draw power, so you want to use that very sparingly. But we do run a lot of outs to draw power, so one of the outs are for Vegeta Time Regulator. This guy was very expensive, but currently he's going about $5 to $6 a pop, so I picked up 8. So his effect, once per turn, when you play a black battle card using Overrealm, choose up to 2 black battle cards, the energy cost 7 or less from your warp, and shuffle them back, or place them at the bottom of your deck, then draw 1 card. So with Turles, you're already recovering stuff between 3 and 7, and this guy is recovering even more stuff and allowing you to draw. So you have 2 of these on board. You're drawing 2 off of every Overrealm. So you basically can't deck out once again with this deck because you're reshuffling so much. It's kind of like Hachiyak to a degree, but a lot more aggressive. That's kind of like how I like to think about it. But be careful. Something I noticed during the tournament, as soon as I place one of these out, your opponent's going to get rid of it. They are going to try to get rid of it as much as they can. They didn't always, but my last tournament, I got kind of unlucky and I didn't see these very much. Even though when I was testing, I saw them very consistently. And finally, when I would get one on board, they just get rid of it because they know it's a threat. But normally, that's not supposed to happen. So another out to get past the draw power, we got 4 Bardock Awakened Instincts. Probably my favorite Overrealm in the game. You use Overrealm 4, you draw 2, drop 1. So you're drawing 2, and then if you have a Time Regulator out, you're drawing an additional 1 afterward. But you're drawing 2, dropping 1, which is fueling potentially for another Turles. And Vegeta Time Regulator, once again, you're drawing 3, essentially. And you're reshuffling your deck, so you're still not decking out. Or refueling your deck, rather. So turn 2, you could have 2 Turles Ghost Warriors out, a Bardock, and a Time Regulator. So turn 2, you have like 4 to 5 swings. Potentially more, depending on how your leader's burst effect is going, if you got lucky and are drawing more Turles Ghost Warriors. So, next up, 2 Crisis Crush Son Goku. He becomes a 1 cost if you have no battle cards, and battle cards with 1 can't attack. And once per turn, you choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards, energy cost of 1, and KO it. Pretty simple. We have him for any basic spot removal or for our evolve target, which we'll get into in just a second. So next up we got Son Goku making an entrance, 4 of. So he's a negate, and you play this card. He's another target for what we're going to be playing. Also, spoiler alert I guess, we run Power Burst in the deck. And since Time Regulator, or Power Burst, searches these, because it searches 1-drops, and since Time Regulator is in the deck, if you overwhelm, you can place these back at the bottom of your deck, so you have infinite negates, which is insane. So, next up, our evolve target, we got 3 Son Goku Saiyan Transcendence. So I'm thinking about bumping this up to 4, honestly, but 3 has been pretty good so far. It's got Double Strike, Zeno Evolve for 1, for a Goku with energy cost 3 or less. You can't play him if you have any non-black battle cards in any area, but it's okay because this is a mono-black deck. And then if you have 3 or less energy, you can't play this card from any area, so you have to play him when you're at 4 energy, which is fine, because that's normally when we want to play him anyways. Once per turn, choose up to 4 black battle cards from your warp and place them in your drop area. So that is insane. The reason that's really good is because if you have a target in your warp that you want to get back to your hand, you do this, then you do the burst 3 effect, and you have 7 targets to get back into your hand. So that's just really good. I love doing that. So next up, the biggest issue I had during my tournament was Self-Awakening. So I replaced 1 card with this, 3 Time Trauma Mass Saiyan. I've noticed that turn 3, I normally don't play anything with any energy. What I would normally play is my old Self-Awakener, which was the Overwhelm Bardock for 1 energy and you remove something. Actually, I have it right here. Increasing Evil Mass Saiyan. But I replaced it, I had 2 of those, now I bumped it up to 3 of these. Because I was basing 1 game against Soul Striker, a blue-green. And he just wasn't attacking me. He was just stalling out till he can get a bunch of stuff out. Or get to 8 energy. I forgot what he beat me with, but... Oh, my bad. He disrespected me and he attacked me with the Roshi Negate. Shout out to my captain. But, so turn 3 you can be playing this guy, because you want to be awakening around turn 3 anyways. And his effect, when you play this card, if your leader card is black, choose up to 2 cards from your life, add them to your hand. If you choose 1 or more to add to your hand, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards, the energy cost of 5 or less, and send it to your own, or send it to your opponent's warp. It's literally the exact same thing as the Overwhelm target, except he's 5k less, but you can choose up to 2 cards from your life. So the reason we don't run Dark Power Black Mass Saiyan is 1, because, or actually no, the only reason is just because he's a 1-drop, and we're not really interested, especially since we run Crisis Crusher in the deck. So I guess there are 2 reasons. So, and with Turles we can recover them back into the deck. Next up, 2 Burst Energy Super Saiyan Bardock. I'm thinking about cutting this for a different option, but I'm just not sure which one, or at least keeping 1 in the deck. So he's Overwhelm 4 for 1. When you play with Overwhelm, he gets plus 10k power and can attack battle cards in active mode. Good for spot removal, but I always end up charging him during the tournament. I mostly ran him for if I encountered like Height of Mastery or anything to take out the Path to Greatness. Next up, for some spot removal, we got just Godly Aptitude Super Saiyan God Son Goku. He's Double Strike, and for 1 energy, you can place this card from your hand in the drop area, choose opponent's battle card with energy cost of 2 or less, and KO it. So it's nice to get rid of any low-cost threats. And then Auto, when you play this card, you can choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards and send it to their warp. I don't think I ever hardcasted this, but I did use its soft effect a few times during the tournament to get rid of stuff. And again, you can recycle it. So now for finishers, we run 2 Awakened Warrior Bardock, Overwhelm 4, and he gets Double Strike for the turn. Pretty simple. It's basically like just doing a Champa. So we run a 1 of Black Mass, or Mass Saiyan the Mysterious Warrior, just if there's a bunch of pesky threats on the board. I actually versed Dr. Wheelo, and I was wanting to see this guy basically the whole game because his board was huge. But yeah, so oh, I should probably read what he does, huh? So he's Overwhelm 5 for 1, Double Strike. When you play this card using Overwhelm, choose up to any of your opponent's battle cards without blocker that add up to 5, or a total of 5 or less, and send them to their warp. So, great for removing big boards. Got 2-dimensional Banisher Fu, Overwhelm 5 for 1, Double Strike. If you play with Overwhelm, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards and send it to their warp. I faced a baby matchup, and this helped me get rid of an ape. I actually beat the baby matchup, which was very hard. It came down to just 5k difference. Next up, for even more draw power, Scientist Fu. You can get this guy out very easily. So he's Overwhelm 7 for 1, Double Strike, and when you play him with Overwhelm, you draw 2. So this guy can also finish games, but this guy you can get out pretty easily because of the Zeno Goku. You put 4 stuff back in your drop area, and then you can just use this guy's burst effect if you really wanted to. And you get 7 in your drop, and you can overwhelm. Because your leaders choose up to. You don't need to choose one. I'm thinking about bumping this up to 2. Mira Assault from the Skies. He's overwhelmed 7 for 1. When you play this card, draw 1 card, and then to start your opponent's next main phase, choose 1 of your energy and switch it to active mode. He replaces himself, he's a 30k double strike, and he draws 1. In my opinion, he's a better Fu. The only reason I run more Fus than him is simply because drawing. If I didn't need to worry about drawing, I'd probably just run 3 of these and no Fus. But for one of our finishers, Mira Creator Absorbed, everyone knows what this does. Overwhelm 4 for 1. When this card attacks, plus 5k. He gets plus 5k for every card in your warp. Pretty simple. I wish we could run Champas in this deck, but since we are so reliant on the Saiyan Transcendence Goku, we do not. Next up, we got Fu the Dark Banisher. Excuse me, I'm sorry. So he's triple attack, Overwhelm 8 for 4. Permanent, your opponent can activate skills unless they choose a card in their hand and send it to their warp. This card is insane, fan-freaking-tastic. You can add this card back into your hand with your leader effect, which is super, super nice because Time Regulator and Turles doesn't shuffle us back in, but Saiyan Transcendence allows you to place this guy from your warp in your drop, and then, Black Mass Saiyan gets it back to your hand. There was a time when I had 3 Turles on board, 2 Time Regulators. I believe I had 1 other thing on board, and then I played Fu the Dark Banisher, and I had about 8 or 9 attacks coming in, and they basically couldn't do anything, and that was pretty much game. So this guy, again, is also a finisher in and of itself. Now, I already said this one. For negates, 4 power bursts, sparking 5, you take a life, or just negate the attack, then you choose up to 1 black battle card from your drop area or warp with energy cost of 1 and add it to your hand. So that's how you recover the negates. Next up, a Kraken Spacetime, just a 1-of. Gives your leader, if your leader card is black, a black Saiyan, you get plus 15k and double strike for the duration of the battle. Pretty crazy and really good for early aggro. And last but not least, Beyond Darkness Demigra. He's Dark Overwhelm 7 for 5, triple strike, and when you play this card, or when this card attacks, you choose up to 4 cards from your opponent's hand and combo with them, or battle cards, technically. So what's really nice is I don't care about comboing this guy off if I need to, or if he's burst, because your leader can actually recover this from the drop area. So if he's even overwhelmed, you Saiyan Transcendence him into the drop, leader effect, recover him to your hand. Super, super nice effect. That's why I love this leader. I'm having a lot of fun with this deck, and I recommend you guys to try it. The only quote-unquote money card other than the secret rare is really Time Regulator, but again, he's really cheap right now, so I recommend you guys pick those up while you can. But that's going to do it for the deck profile. I hope you guys enjoyed. Again, a lot of fun to play, a lot of fun to make, and shout out to everyone that got to play this today, or not today, but this weekend. It was a lot of fun. So yeah, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. See ya!